day in the IPL, I can't even say a rare off day because we just had one 2 days ago where there was no match. It again feels, what is that song Siddharth will, Jag Suna Suna. It feels like that. No match.
Yes.
Otherwise, every evening you know what you're going to be doing. Today, it's going to be tough.
No, then you enjoyed that day also, no? Dugout.
My big
was
question
there.
is, have you heard that song in his voice?
He sung it, I don't know.
Does that I'm assuming he must have.
Yeah, you are taking up new theories as if I don't know myself. I've never sung that song.
Shane and I disagree. I am not getting in the middle of this.
Okay, when did Shane also hear?
Yeah, because even I don't remember it.
Exactly, because it never occurred. It never happened.
Maybe he remembers. It left a scar on his mind so bad.
Indelible mark.
It did.
He remembers.
Just like the Go Go Orange Army song left.
Oh, hey, but that was a catchy song.
That still happens on a daily basis. Oh,
See, if I can scar you in this way, I think I've latched on to something then.
I would rather be scarred by doing more and more and more and more work. Yeah, that tells you everything you need to know.
Be careful what you ask for, Sid.
It's okay. I've
Don't,
signed up
yeah,
for it.
poor guy is burdened with a lot of work.
I've signed
Only
up
he,
for it. It's okay.
only he does is office and home, no respite. Overworked, burnt out. Don't want to be in Siddharth's place.
Don't worry.
Has it very tough.
Which is what our future India cricket coach candidate might be facing.
What burnout? I think a lot of them don't want to face it. Yeah.
No, I don't want to talk about coach. I want to talk about what happened after last night. What is the?
It's a
game that is still fresh, na?
Yeah, it's
you just ignored it and you moved to coach.
No, I have not ignored it.
When the IPL one game finished last night, I'm still thinking
What
about
was
it.
Shane's reaction?
Didn't really matter. I mean, again, I predicted an RCB win, but they're not my team, so them getting knocked out does really nothing for me.
Yeah.
Nothing whatsoever. Again, people will also ask me, who is it that you want to be facing in the final? I said, bring on any team.
Yeah.
Simple.
Looks like you're like the Mumbai Indians super team of 2020. Looks like it. You don't lose much.
I mean, let's wait until we win the title to make those comparisons.
What is the chatter about the loss? I want to know. What are people saying? Where did they lose? What is
Bengaluru can't. That is
No, that is the meme. I want cricket analysis. What has happened? What did Virat say something about the loss? DK, some experts.
Everybody is like painting this campaign of RCB as you have to be proud of it because you are given only 1% chance of qualifying for the playoffs. That's what Virat Kohli stated in that dressing room interview which RCB carried.
Litti Chokha I just saw. Go ahead.
Okay. So, in that, he stated winning 6 games, and this was the same thing echoed by DK also.
Yes.
Winning 6 games on the trot, bouncing back from being 1% chance of qualifying for the playoffs all the way to reach the playoffs is something that we can be proud of.
Yes.
That is the way everybody is painting RCB's campaign at this point in time. Otherwise, there are many like Kampati Raidu who's saying that, look, you don't win the trophy just by beating CSK alone. You have to do it every day.
Why are CSK players and fans so salty?
Because I think what happened.
Tushar Deshpande sharing a story.
Which he then deleted. But
Probably
doesn't
because
really
of the
matter.
treatment.
He deleted it.
He deleted it.
He
Yes.
deleted it. But it lives on in infamy. It's the internet.
Yeah. And all CSK fans in Berlin are celebrating wherever.
They must be.
Yes.
But why are they so salty?
I guess it all stems from that post-match when MS Dhoni was
What
forced
happened
to
after that
wait.
match? Yes.
I think that is the main reason for their saltiness.
So they are upset that they made MS Dhoni wait.
Yes.
I think they're upset.
But you said that MS should have waited anyway.
I waited, but
I think basically is what they're upset is they denied CSK the chance of making it and then ended up losing on the very first hurdle.
But this is something that I have not understood. And I was thinking about it yesterday when Siddharth mentioned a few things. So one, you are saying CSK are salty because RCB knocked them out. And the other, you said that, Shubman Gill got trolled because he scored the runs against RCB one time.
Yeah, 22.
And then he got trolled and lots of other players like this have been trolled. Shivam Dubey got trolled. My point is, what do opposition fans really expect? That team is playing us but they have no right to beat us, so they should lose. If they beat us, I'm going to abuse you. What? I mean, I'm not understood. If I'm a fan and I'm looking, if let's say I'm a fan of a team and my team wins or loses, if it wins, I will look at various things within the team and be proud of that. If they lose, I will look at a few issues, limitations within the team that I would like to scrutinize and ask questions about.
Yes.
Why will I be, for example, I'm not going to go on to, if I'm a, let's say, fan of the Indian team, if I'm going to meet Travis Head, I'm not going to be abusing him. Or if I go to his Instagram, why did you play that inning? Because he's playing for his country, that's his job. Yeah. I have to ask question of my team, right? Like, why did you not have better plans to dismiss him? Why did you choose, to bat first? Why did you choose to have a pitch like that? Various other things I will have of my. But the opposition, why will I abuse, troll? I've not understood that.
The problem with RCB is that, okay, they built themselves as the Real Madrid of cricket, but they got Bangladesh.
No.
That is the problem.
No, but even CSK fans in this case are guilty of doing the same, attacking RCB, because why? They beat them, but they're playing for their own spot. They have to beat you.
So, two things. One, they made their Thaladoni wait.
Yes.
Number one. Number two, the way...
How many seconds was that?
Hardly 20 seconds. 30
They made him wait. Okay, I'll say 1 minute also. They made him wait 1 minute, so you're upset.
Big deal.
What is that? Exactly
It's
my
a big
point.
deal.
It was a big game for them.
The way...
They were celebrating also, so that...
Yeah.
I think these things
No,
don't
what
The
is
way
that?
how they celebrated, rubbing it in their
So,
face and all that, but even CSK
Acha,
used to do that.
No, then you'll celebrate like this.
Yeah.
See,
Come on.
if you were,
Get the same,
if you made obscene gestures at the crowd and
Yes.
things like that, then I agree.
There was
But if you-
nothing like that. Absolutely.
They just celebrated. They were pumped up. They went, hugged each other. 30 seconds of waiting, boss.
Why do you enjoy somebody else's misery? I cannot understand. Enjoy your own success and drown in your own failures. That concentrate. Other person, I'm not doing well, but I am enjoying because Siddharth's also down in the dumps. Why?
Because that's, that's a point that I'll make to put things into context. That's the thing with the society. That usually people like to see
See,
that.
we have...
With us mostly. With us, I mean us
See,
Indians.
the Indian psyche has been built upon K-series dramas, okay?
Yeah.
Where the main theme is not K-pop, K-series. What
No, I-
Ekta Kapoor and all the entire...
That's what I'm wondering. I'm like, where does Korean dramas come into this?
not Korean
Please specify. K-series means K-dramas. That's
Yes,
no.
he's right.
Yeah, yes.
So,
I'm thinking, what
we have all been brought up...
Those are called Saas Bahu.
Saas
Yeah,
Bahu
Golden
series.
Saas was so popular. I'm thinking, what does BTS have to do with this?
No. K-series, because everything started with a K.
No, I understand that.
KSKBT, then Kasam Se, all those kind of things. What was the main underlining theme in that? Apart from the convoluted stories that used to be there.
I never watched them.
So, the underlying theme was taking sadistic pleasure of someone else's pain. So, when you have been seeing that for 2 decades, it manifests itself in some way or the other.
I don't like the term sadism. I prefer the German term for it because it's just way better. It's called Schadenfreude.
Schadenfreude.
Taking pleasure out of someone's pain. Sadism is so plain Jane, normal. Schadenfreude. That's the word.
Yeah.
I mean, the Germans invented the term, but I think we Indians perfected it.
Yeah.
Because we really do that.
Vazan, yes. man.
Wasn't it?
Yeah.
So, India has been living on Schadenfreude for 2
Generations.
2 decades, and
There's
that's...
some serious discussion going on.
But this is exactly what it is.
No,
It's
welcome to
manifesting.
Dugout. You will learn as you go.
2008 onwards, okay, it was already dubbed as the Kaveri Derby, CSK RCB.
Yeah.
Okay, no, it gets even better. Ashes of the South. Imagine. Now, at this point,
El Clasico?
El Clasico.
No, El Clasico is
MICSK.
MICSK.
Yeah. Now, if RCB forever, okay, so they are under the shadow of their big neighbors in CSK. They have not won much. CSK have already won 5.
Yeah.
Let's not say much.
They haven't won anything.
Nothing.
No, but then understand the RCB psyche, they'll think they won everything.
They have. Please show what they have won. Hearts.
Hearts and lungs.
They have.
Hearts,
Kidneys.
lungs, kidneys. Is it anything that
Heart.
something on top
Heart.
is missing?
They have
in
won
that list?
hearts. This is a nice meme which says the trophy cabinet of other teams will have trophies. RCB hearts because they have won hearts.
Yeah. There is one thing missing. That's something on top here. Which is why they have never won the major thing that is there.
I'll have to like Shane's
I mean, look at it. See how
slip of tongue use. I will have to remove your slip of tongue use as well.
tongue is also not in that. See how
Which is ironic because they run their mouths a lot. And
exactly. You win. I mean, Gautam Gambhir summed it up brilliantly before the KKR RCB game, the first game. He said, nothing gives me greater pleasure than beating RCB because the fan base is such that they talk, but they don't back it up. You're the social media champions, great. But that's not going to win you the
Okay,
game.
now to the cricket discussion. Each of you pick one thing. If it turned out differently for RCB, they could have won. One turning point or one moment in the game or one, shot, dismissal, anything that you think, one or maybe two, I'll be.
Had Virat Kohli not played that shot of Yuzi Chahal,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that was it. Then he would have done a similar thing what he did with PBKs and all those other things.
I don't mind him playing that shot. I mind him not executing the shot. For years we've been complaining.
That ball wasn't the one to.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
It probably
He
wasn't
picked the wrong ball.
He picked the wrong ball.
Yeah.
I don't mind him playing the shot. Execution was poor, and I agree. I think him getting dismissed, leave aside the shot, him getting dismissed took all the wind out of their sails.
Yeah.
Because at that point in time, I mean, I know we've said that the rest of the batting, and I myself have maintained this, that they've had batters be in good form. Honorary mention, of course, goes to Glenn Maxwell doing Glenn Maxwell
No,
things.
that doesn't surprise us, right?
That surprises
So,
us.
which is why that's not the point. But why I agree with the Virat thing, because Virat doesn't get out, or at least get out in that fashion. A beautiful ball gets out, fine.
Yeah, you can't help that.
He wouldn't have gotten out in that fashion. I think he only got out in that fashion because of the pressure that Bolt applied at the start, and he felt.
Previous over Ashwin. He could
Ashwin
put
also.
Ashwin away.
Exactly. So he thought that now, see, I'm falling behind the curve, I have to hit, and would have otherwise never played that shot. He would have waited, he would have played a shot against Chahal, but only when it was in his zone. That wasn't, but went for it, gets out. Had he gone on to play even at 137 strike rate, which was yesterday, I'm not even saying 150, 60, he gets 70 odd, team gets 195, they're winning this game.
Yes.
RR would have collapsed. So that I agree with you is that one, even though turning points usually come later half in a game, this happened right at the start, but happens to be the turning point.
Exactly.
The other one, I think, crucial moment, RCB could have still won it despite them making those blunders, because RR by themselves were hell-bent on losing too. It was like pehle half. Was Roman Powell at the end?
Yes.
Because after Sanju Samsung, Riyan Parag, Hetmar, all of them do harakiri. Roman Powell at the end, cool as a cucumber, 16 of 8 or something like that.
Yes.
Wraps it up. Who knows?
I think one point that I feel hasn't really been discussed much was Cameron Green dropping Yashasvi Jaiswal initially
First
in
over.
the innings.
Yeah.
I think that was one of the most important moments of the game,
Yeah.
because had RR not got off to that good start that they got courtesy Jaiswal and Kohler Cadmo, things could have been different, because the way you saw things progress towards the end, it was pretty much touch and go for them. So yeah, you never know. Couple of early wickets and scoreboard pressure was actually an RR.
The two factors, I mean, RR dropped 2 catches.
Yes.
RCB also dropped 2. Green dropping Jaiswal
Yes.
and Maxwell. Who would have thought Maxwell, the fielder, dropping a catch?
It's been a bad week for Aussies and catches being dropped. Travis Head dropped
Travis
one
Head.
2 nights back.
Green.
Green dropped one. Now Maxwell. They're all saving themselves for the World Cup, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
You wait. They'll be pulling off blinders for fun.
That's
over
why
there.
when somebody said cricket is a great leveler, I said I will wait for the final of T20 World Cup for Head to get out on 0 and drop 2 catches, and Cummins to make blunders with his captaincy. Once that happens,
Then I will.
then
agree.
cricket is a great leveler.
And also leaked 32 runs of 1.4
1.4
overs.
overs. Yeah.
Okay, to the topic that we have been forced to talk about because Siddharth insists we talk about it is
No,
the
I'm only
Indian-
obliging what our family members told us.
Because yes, also because a lot of you send those questions about coach, and since we've been busy with the daily IPL games and the intricacies of those IPL matches, that we really haven't had a time to step back and look at other aspects of Indian cricket. So this is a big talking point. The coach, as you know, that Rahul Dravid has decided not to extend. So before we even dive into the coach, one thing I want to let everyone know, because there are different theories during the round that the Indian camp has had enough, they want a different coach, a fresh approach. None of it actually happens. So let me just give you a bit of a background, and then we'll get into the various options and candidates that we are looking at was that Rahul Dravid did not, to begin with, Rahul Dravid didn't want to be coach only.
Yes.
From the start, 2021.
I'm giving you a bit of an insight because I knew at that time something like that had happened. It wasn't reported widely, but I was in the know of something very closely. Was when the Indian team appointed Anil Kumble as the coach. Yes. They had gone to Rahul Dravid and they didn't even want to do the whole application thing and going, which they did. The interviews and all happened. Where Ravi Shastri joined from Thailand or wherever, you know, there was a big controversy. At that time, they had actually just approached Rahul Dravid, saying that if you want to be coach, become coach, forget the interviews, you'll be coach. He refused. He said, I didn't want to be. Then they started the entire process. So he was reluctant to be coach. Then finally, when they went to him after Ravi Shastri's second stint, and he chose to just coach the junior players because he said once he gets a lot of gratitude and satisfaction in coaching the youngsters and India A team, and also it allows him the luxury of being at home and not traveling much. So that's why I wanted to be. Then they still tried to convince him the second time and he finally accepted. He said, okay, let me give it a shot. After the ODI World Cup, he had said, done, I gave it those 2 years that I had to, done, he was going. But the BCCI again requested him saying that we don't have too much time now for the T20 World Cup to finalize. The whole process might take time. Would you be kind enough to just extend it? So they had a meeting with him and then he agreed to extend it till the T20 World Cup only, because that was the only thing, and then there was a bit of a gap, so you had the time. And so they didn't want to, if you remember that the team also went with Rohit Sharma and a lot of you were surprised, and we kept reporting that Rohit will be there, Virat will be there, because that mindset had started to come in from that time.
Yes.
That we will maintain status quo, not look at major changes. It will only happen after the T20 World Cup. That was the moment that they were going to turn the corner. So they requested, since they had looked at Rohit to continue as captain, they requested if Rahul could. So those meetings happened, as you know, and then he decided for an extension for 6 months only. After which, now as it's been reported that they've had enough of him, it's not, he doesn't want to continue anymore. Which is why now the BCCI is forced to look at a long-term option, which they knew was coming earlier only when the 6-month extension happened. So Rahul Dravid has decided to step back. He's, I think, going to concentrate on his son Samit, who's now playing age group cricket, on his growth and family time. Okay, so that is done. Now we turn our attention to the contenders. So how many contenders are there? Who's the front runner? Who's totally out of the race? What are the strengths? We'll discuss all of that. Okay.
So the people who are out at this point in
first, let's count the contenders.
It is Gautam Gambhir.
Okay.
That's top contender. Then there was VVS Lakshman, Harbhajan Singh, then Justin Langer, Ricky Ponting,
Stephen
Fleming, who was first approached. So that's 6 that I can recollect at this point in time.
Yes, and I think there's a report from Mahela Jayawardene also.
Yeah.
7.
Yes.
Unless there will be more people who have filled the Google forms you don't know about, then there could be more. But 7 at the moment are names that are doing the rounds, and not necessarily all 7 have shown interest. Some have been approached by the BCCI as well. Okay, so 7 contenders. Do you want to touch upon all 7, or let's do one thing? Each of us pick your favorite to be coach, and then once you pick the favorite, tell us why you think favorite, in the sense not based on news report favorite, who you think will be the best coach. So you pick that coach and tell us why you think, and then once you give us the 4 reasons, we'll probably try and pick up, the rest of us will try and pick up the things that go against that player. Okay, so who wants to start?
Yeah, so my favorite contender obviously is,
if you were the BCCI alone and you were given a free hand, who would you pick?
I would pick Chandrakant Pandit.
Oh, okay, interesting. Okay, so, and why? And tell us why.
So one of the things that I really admire about Pandit sir, and I've interviewed him in the past also a couple of times, is obviously...
Don't let your personal biases come in, because he
gave
you an interview. So he's my favorite.
So would you call me Siddharth bias now?
Siddharth bias,
that's only one.
That has been taken.
There is only one bias in this whole office, and that is Shane bias.
No, but yeah, I think jumping back to that point, I would personally go with Chandrakant Pandit because I think of his rich history as a coach, and more importantly, the thing that is widely used in the Mumbai cricket circuit, Khadus khelna hai, the dogged determination that we use. So I think this is something that the Indian cricket team might just be comfortable with, knowing that they have persisted with an Indian coach for the last maybe Shastri was there for a good 7 years, then Dravid was there for a good more than 2.5 years. So yeah, I think he could be the right option. But then once again, in Ravi Shastri's own words, one man cannot do everything. You would need, captains for different departments. So with that said, there would be a proper need of a support staff. So this is just, my understanding of things, that an Indian coach, a local coach who can just gel with the players very well, who can also understand that, they can be more or less a fixed team for tests and ODIs, but there should be a separate team for T20s, completely different team. Because the way I feel, things are going, at a personal level, I know that, how things in Indian cricket function. And they would rather have one coach for all formats rather than having split coaching across formats.
That they've already announced.
Yeah, so that's something that we may not see. Maybe the likes of Ashish Nehra or someone who I would say the fans are really like that, who would
Did you count
want
Ashish
to be
Nehra in your
India's
list?
T20 coach.
Did you count?
I did.
You did.
There's another one there who we missed, Mahela Jayawardene.
With that,
He
he
counted.
that is
He
counted.
did Harshit
Yeah.
now. He missed him. He reminded him.
So yeah, I think coming back to that point, I don't think I think we all know we won't see the split coaching thing in Indian cricket. So Chandrakant Pandit is my favorite, but he would need a support staff. But there is a star mark attached to this. I would want a separate team for T20s, and for that,
No, that's a different debate.
Yeah.
You have to pick your coach.
my coach is Chandrakant Pandit.
Okay, so he's picked and he's given reasons why.
Yes.
Can you think of few reasons why he can't be, and that's our job now to
I'll
pick,
give you several.
Yeah,
I used to
go.
think that being Gautam Gambhir as a head coach would be too hard for our Indian star players. Throw Chandrakant Pandit in there, and my God, it's a disaster waiting to happen. This man does not mince his words. He was described by an international level player in David Wiese as being a hard taskmaster, and I'm sorry, but David Wiese is no one in terms of the kind of profile of player you'd have to be handling in the Indian team. I love Chandrakant Pandit. I think he's a very underrated coach. He knows how to bring out the best in certain younger talents. I think that's his main role right now with KKR.
He's the Carlo Ancelotti of Indian cricket, if you look at it.
No, that's a bit much.
No.
Coaching wherever he's
Carlo Ancelotti has won everything.
Exactly.
issue in World Cup.
Here if you
Thoda
look
sa
at
na exaggerate. What rocket it? Has he won a World Cup?
Vidarbha, Madhya Pradesh for domestic.
अरे domestic है यार, come on
Consecutive
यार.
years.
Then domestic you have to go like very basic यार. Domestic you are saying is like second division football or title. If you are going to compare with what he is doing, you have to win IPL, you have to win Cricket World Cups, you have to win all of that.
Yeah,
So
I'd
hold
say-
your horses.
I'd say
Carlo
Chandrakant-
Ancelotti.
Carlo
thoda
Ancelotti, my God. No,
you
but
could call him a Vincent Company or someone coming up or something like that. है ना?
funny you mentioned company.
I know,
Funny
I
you
know.
mentioned
I know
company
why. There's a
because-
reason I mentioned.
Ah.
He's taken Bayern
What's the
Munich.
one thing that Indian cricket team, Indian national men's cricket team needs the most at this point? The trophies, ICC trophies. Okay. Now tell me, what does Chandrakant Pandit bring? He brings in wealth
He
of
brings winning
experience.
pedigree.
Yes, he wins that winning mentality also, winning attitude. He has this rich coaching history, not just with Mumbai, with Vidarbha and Madhya Pradesh also.
Yeah.
Why not would you want to have him as your coach?
Because he'd say the kind of home truths that a lot of our stars would not want to hear.
He's not saying, he's not doubting his.
Yeah,
credentials.
I would.
He's
I
saying
agree
that
with
because
you.
he's a hard taskmaster, and sometimes with the top level players, it's something that doesn't go down too well. You know what
Yes, sir.
happened to Anil Kumble.
That's what I think the support staff would be there for. Because Chandrakant Pandit's job wouldn't be the alone person to handle the team. That's what support staff is also going to do.
Good cop, bad cop, basically.
Yeah, see, I'll just give you an example. Okay, let's just go back to the 2020-2021 Border Gavaskar Trophy, in which Ajinkya Rahane captained India in the last 3 tests after Kohli was gone for the birth of his second child. First child. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. What
Second
did you
has
see?
just come.
Second child was a whole different
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Let's not go there.
Okay, pardon. So, what did you see in the Melbourne test? They were different captains. You had Ashwin bowling to the bowlers, talking to the bowlers. There was a certain Bumrah who was talking to the bowlers. So, they were captains for different departments. That's what the support staff is basically going to be. You would need everyone to come together, not just make sure that the team stays in place.
No, but then that too will happen with any coach, right? If you get
Yeah.
a great support staff, it will help
No,
everyone.
but my point was just in relation with Chandrakant Pandit. That if there is something that is really going on, that the players are not really comfortable with his maybe style of coaching policy. Let's just assume
No,
that.
but Anil Kumble
There
also
would be
had a support staff.
Correct.
Yeah, but Chandrakant Pandit
No,
is
I'm saying
a different personality.
Yeah, I agree. No, see, you have, I'm not, for once, you have given points that are in his favor, right?
Yeah.
But there are also contrary points as well that people will look at. Whether
Exactly.
you find a way to work around very well. It's like, you're saying an ex-player is bad against spin, but he may find a way to counter spin that day. So similarly, if like he's pointing out, that's the image he comes with. Maybe he'll find a way to come. That's another thing. But I'm just looking at things that we know right now. One thing we know is that he is a very good coach, as you mentioned. So that's a strong point, goes in his favor. Maybe, again, if I counter that, I may say, okay, he's been a good coach at the domestic level, we'll see what happens in the international, different. But not looking at that, just looking at it. Similarly, the other thing that goes anti him, and a lot of time coach selection is going to happen based on perception.
Yeah.
So this goes that, he's a hard task master, some players may be a bit variable, could be, I don't know whether.
Yeah.
So just looking at the two sides of the coin. Any other things you
Look
can
at the perception that Chandrakant Pandit has built. Hark back to two other personalities that you thought had done the same with Indian cricket. One was Anil Kumble, one was Greg Chappell. Look at how those tenures ended. Look at how
But we're basing all of this on perception, right?
Yeah.
That's a perception.
That's a perception.
Yeah.
But then we saw what happened in the case of Chappell. He had his own visions. He was a taskmaster. He was pretty strict on what he wanted. So was Anil Kumble. Look what happened. Star power, individual star power in India overrides these kind of coaches. The coach says, you have to fall in line. But are our Indian senior players going to do that? Especially given this last decade. Which is why I think, sure, he has so many things going his way. He's got the Mumbai power also behind him.
Exactly.
Ajit Agarkar is Mumbai, Rohit is Mumbai. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
valid point. The one other, before we move to another one, we have lots of coaches. The one other thing that I agree, we've looked at his pros, we've looked at his cons. The one other con that might be with him is the fact that I think now you've reached a stage where you also have to look at public perception, and so you may have to go with a slightly more high profile coach because it's a high profile job.
Correct, yes.
Now, not to say, I'm not for one saying that only high profile coaches do well. Actually, to the contrary, it's the ones that have not been high profile that do well. But I think where Indian cricket is at the moment, to satisfy public opinion, you may have to come up with a big name. And if you look at Indian cricket, that's what they've done in the recent past. Even when they went with a Duncan Fletcher, he may not have been a high profile player, but the thing is he came as a high profile coach, having coached international team.
Correct.
So that has to be there. Indian cricket somehow has not had the confidence of going in with a lesser known player, which could be their own fault.
Yeah.
I'll give an example. You look at a very similar example I'm going to give is you look at India's T20 World Cup in 2007. Lalchand Rajput was
the cricket manager.
Another underrated coach, another player who's done well in domestic cricket, captain in the Mumbai team,
Yes.
played with all those stalwarts, did well, the team won under him. But just because he did not profile tick the high profile, candidature, you did not appoint him.
Yes.
That is something that might go against him. I'm not saying that's the right thing. You should look at a bit low profile or understated players. They might do well, but that's the thing that may go against him. So that's the first candidate done. Okay, who wants to pick the next one?
So we
Okay.
have entire power is ours. Right? This is
You
our power
are
entirely.
Mr. Shah,
Ah, perfect. Let's go.
Mr. Jay Shah.
Let's go. Fine. I am going to go a little contrarian here, and I'm going to split my questions.
No, you can't do that.
No, but we just said-
because that he said already. We know it. Had
That's
they not
fine.
mentioned,
It is within
but
the
they
frame.
mentioned.
Not
You
going to
have to
happen.
work within the
That's
frame.
very limited.
See, the thing is, because they've given this, had they not mentioned and they said we are open to it, then we would also allow that in our debate.
Then-
Now that they made this very clear,
Very clear.
that we want one coach, so you'll have to pick one.
Then I will.
But you have the power.
Yeah, I'll go with the Gautam Gambhir.
I'll also, my option was also the same.
Okay, we will come to you.
Again, if he
give
ticks every
strength.
box, he ticks every box in that regard.
Okay, you have to mention pros, and so do you then,
Yeah.
and then we'll try and think of cons.
Yeah.
Go
See,
ahead.
So pros, high profile, former player, someone who comes with pedigree in terms of, is a World Cup winner, two-time World Cup winner, played match-winning knocks in both of them, is someone who I think commands a lot of respect even of the cricketing public, more often than not, is one of those candidates I think would not split hairs as much as maybe other candidates would. I would have ideally, and I'll give a full disclosure, I would have kept him only as my T20 coach if I had the choice. But if we have to pick even all format, I don't think there's any other better candidate from the ones who are there, because a lot of them don't convince me. Many have already, in fact, ruled themselves out anyway. The few who did, I would have been okay with, say, Fleming, but he's made it very clear that, you know, I prefer my family time, and fair play to him.
No, you can change your power.
No, I
you
would
have that
still
power to convince him also. So
Yeah,
if you
then
want.
still no, I'd still go with the Gautam Gambhir, because I think also in recent times we've gone away from even, and Fleming, dare I say, is a bit on the understated side. I know he's been the CSK coach since 2009.
Yeah.
But people always look at that as Dhoni's team.
Okay.
So he is kind of on the understated side. Gambhir, on the other hand, definitely not that. Former player, someone who also has that, you know, I think probably one of the most underrated tactical brains you've seen as far as Indian cricket goes, would be a perfect fit, and he's the only choice I go for.
I mean, you look at Gautam Gambhir, wherever he's captained or coached. The last of Delhi's domestic glory, last of it, wherever they reached the semi-finals, the finals, put up a fight, was under Gautam. Look at your two modern World Cup ICC title triumphs. Who played the most vital part in it? It was Gautam Gambhir in the World Cup final of 2011 and the 2007 T20 World Cup. Captaincy wise, coaching wise, just ask KKR. Just ask in LSG how he has managed to take them to the very next level. When Gautam Gambhir was not there in Kolkata, they've struggled to make it to the playoffs. Now he's made them like the MI super team of 2020, losing very few, attacking and decimating opponents. LSG, 2 years he was there, took them huffing and puffing to the playoffs. Now he's gone. Where are LSG? No.
And it's the same team, by the way.
Same
the
team.
nucleus of the team hasn't really changed.
Point number one, which is their excellent man manager. And he likes to call a spade. Not afraid. He has both the Virat Kohli mongrel also. You're talking to my players, you're going to take them down. I'll take you down also. That kind of aggressive mentality he can instill in the Indian cricket team. And for clutch moments, you may have to fall back on a Gautam Gambhir. He will put team first rather than individual first.
Okay, they make a very compelling case.
But I have a question.
Yeah,
One
of
second.
course you have the
Yeah.
right. Go.
How do you manage egos with a certain Gautam Gambhir?
I think
Simple question.
I think he's cracked the code. You see in IPL 2024, look at how he's made up with the likes of Virat Kohli. You saw what happened after KKR's game versus RCB. The hug happened. There was smiles all
There
around.
was never a rift between Kohli and Gambhir to begin with.
See, but there were instances that happened.
No,
2023,
flashpoint.
But that was completely on the field, and that's what even Gambhir always made it clear.
Yeah, but 10 years ago, that was on the field. But
Yeah.
it repeated again, and that was much more vicious than
But
what you look
these
at
things
it.
can happen at any time.
Now, he's gone out of his way to ensure that, okay, all the rifts are mended.
And can I just add one thing on
Yeah.
that, and that is going to favor Gautam Gambhir's candidature. While I agree with the point that Siddharth Gulati is making, is that, you know, what about star players, the rifts,
The
the
ego
friction,
management.
yeah. So, whatever I know little of, he shares a great rapport with Rohit Sharma.
Yeah.
Yes.
And at one point, you did consult Virat in who the coach is going to be because he was captain. Assuming, though I think they've you know bridged the gap and they're now friends and whatever. But assuming that even if they hadn't, I don't think Virat would have had a say in who the coach is now since he's not captain. So even if it was not, they would consult the captain. If the captain was okay and the BCCI was okay, then despite his liking or disliking, they would have still gone with Gautam. So that's the situation now. So even while this could be a potential hazard or a potential problem, I still think that they can overcome this basis the person that they're going to consult, that's going to be the captain in Rohit Sharma. So that is a positive for Gautam. Anything else you have in mind? I have.
Yeah, I'll chip in with whatever I have.
My only thing is that, see, even I probably would have, if you ask me, he's my second favorite candidate. I will not name the first because my turn will come, so then I will name my second favorite candidate because I think he has that. See, for me, the coach at this level is not a technical coach. He's the man manager who needs to inspire men at this stage. And I think he can be an inspirational figure. I think he can inspire men, and that's his greatest quality. And that is why I wouldn't mind if he's the coach. The only problem that I see, and I don't see it as a problem, but I think Indian cricket might see it as a problem, and the only thing that goes against him is the fact, which actually Siddharth points out is a strength, but I see could be a potential problem area, is that he doesn't mince his words, that he speaks his mind. What Indian cricket has preferred in the past is when there have been issues, they preferred a coach who stays mum, who doesn't get involved in it, doesn't do any interviews, doesn't go on social media, doesn't mention anything about it, just lets the whole thing die and then you move forward. That's what Indian cricket is preferred. Knowing Gautam, and that's in fact his quality, that he's never shy of putting his point forward. You like it, you don't like it, whatever, he's going to say what's in his mind. Does that then suit the narrative or the position that the BCCI has when it comes to controversial issues? Maybe not. And that's the only thing that will kind of make them reluctant to have Gautam as a coach. Otherwise, I see no reason why he cannot be a good coach. And Shane pointed out T20, I'd say all, because he was a fantastic test player. Yeah. He was a very good ODI player. So these are all formats that he's played and he's very good at it. So he'd make a great coach. The only thing, as I see, now it's not a problem for me personally, which is why he's my second pick, but I think the BCCI also sees that. Duncan Fletcher was essentially got in for that. John Wright was essentially for that. You know, Rahul Dravid is quite similar. You know, just
keeps things in house.
Yeah, like it's cricket. Anything that's controversial, he doesn't address it. Never comes out speak. Only cricketing matters.
Maybe Ravi Shastri was slightly
different. But in Ravi Shastri's thing, you know, Ravi Shastri had a way with words, so he did not necessarily really address the issue, speak about it, but he could skirt the issue in his own style. Yep. Right. Yes. He would say, like somebody would be in, that doesn't matter, yaar, it's okay, we get up, we move forward. You know, he'll be like that. Correct. But in Gautam's case, he's not going to skirt it. He will address it. He'll say, yes, this was an issue and we've dealt with it. This is what we did. He'll be upfront, which is great for us in the media. I love it. Yeah. I'm just saying the BCCI probably doesn't.
Yeah, it won't.
Okay. I'm left now.
Yeah. We both had the same.
Okay. My favorite candidate is going to be Mahela Jayawardene, because I absolutely love him. And I will give you certain things, because I mean I covered a lot of cricket while Mahela was a player, and then I got to speak to a lot of players. Now see, he's had great success with Mumbai Indians. People underrate him, but he had a major role to play in Mumbai Indian success. Secondly, having spoken to a lot of Sri Lankan journalists, a lot of Sri Lankan players, a lot of Indian players in the IPL who played under Mahela Jayawardene's captaincy, by the way, I've only heard praises. I will tell you something that I got to know later, that there were times where, as Sri Lankan captain, Sangakkara had fairly good results, right? The man behind all those sharp decisions was Mahela Jayawardene. Yes. So Sangakkara, for everything, even in the IPL, there were times they played in the franchise together, where Sangha was captain, Mahela played. But I know, having spoken to a lot of players that are part of the franchises, every decision was taken by Mahela. That's how much even a Sangakkara trusts Mahela and his cricketing acumen. So he's one of the sharpest cricketing brains, he's one of the sharpest captains. I know that the team did well under Sangakkara also, but it was again all Mahela Jayawardene. So he also ticks a lot of other boxes, which I said, one, will remain behind the scene. Two, you know, is a very amiable sort of personality, could gel with most people, has his way of, you know, doing things without really upsetting anyone. So he ticks most boxes for me. But that's just the things on the periphery, the personality, which also gels with exactly what BCCI is looking for. But most importantly, the cricketing brain that he has and the kind of decisions that he can get the Indian team to take. He's my number one candidate. But if he was not to start, because he's busy with the Mumbai franchise now, he does a lot of other.
He's also the director of cricket.
Correct. All franchise
operations, and he's also a coach. At least if not a coach, he oversees a lot of the coaching operations for their others. So whether it be MLC, SA20, you name it, ILT20, he's overseeing.
That's the only hiccup that they may not want to let him go.
And maybe he himself might want to leave.
Because it's a good for India would require a lot of bandwidth.
10 months you have to be with the team.
But the good thing about Mahela has been that he's never been that guy who said that I do not want to be traveling, or I don't want to, at least that, which has come from a lot of other candidates like Stephen Fleming, that we
Stephen
know is
Fleming,
kind of, Ricky
Ponting.
Ponting has said that.
And also Justin Langer.
Oh yeah, like that.
Yeah, so these are the players who've said, not that any one of them were my top choice, and I have my reasons for it. So Mahela has really not said that, but if he was to be the coach, I'd be the happiest.
But he has applied.
No,
He's
that's why I said
reportedly a favorite.
yeah.
Oh, favorite as in someone who
See,
the BCCI
sometimes you
names.
don't apply the BCCI. Like for example, if you hear Harbhajan,
Yeah.
he's not applied, but he sent feelers
Yes.
saying that I would want to give it back. So if he doesn't want to apply, but if the BCCI comes to him, he's saying I'm keen. That sort of a thing. But
Send him the Google form.
if we have the if we have the power, and if somebody is listening, please do approach Mahela Jayawardene. I think he'll do a lot of good to Indian cricket. If you
I
can
have a
get
very
it.
generic question. Out of the three choices that we have discussed,
Huh.
Chandrakant Pandit, Gautam Gambhir and Mahela Jayawardene.
He's Sid G, not Sid S. Sid G and Sid V.
Actually, he's put apostrophe as in Sid's choice and Sid V's choice.
But just do Sid G and Sid V.
Yeah.
Ha.
So yeah, out of the three choices that we have discussed, I think it could be a very random question, but still, who do you think would be the most uncomfortable when it comes to not being a part of the meetings for team selection?
Uncomfortable. Nobody has to be. If you're a coach, you have to be comfortable with that. Why would you?
Sometimes a coach would want to have a say in it.
Yeah. So he's not
So
uncomfortable.
I'm just like discussing who could be among the three.
No. So uncomfortable as in is to me sounds like that. Oh, he doesn't want to be part of the selection. So uncomfortable.
No, it's like, it's like
You are
if
trying to
not
say he's
included-
part of the select. No, he will be part nowadays.
has to be,
Earlier it was not. Now the coach is part. If you say uncomfortable, to me it seems like that. Oh, he's not part of. Nowadays, Rahul Dravid is part of every meeting, whether it's the selection committee meeting, which is picking squads, whether it is even 11
Okay.
on the. So the coaches are very much part of that. So I thought by you meaning uncomfortable, meaning saying, oh no, don't involve me in selection. I
No,
will
by
not."
uncomfortable, what I meant was,
That
if
if
he's
he's-
not asked for it, then would he feel comfortable?
No, they
That's
will
my
be
point.
asked. Nowadays, coaches have that power. It's kind of changing. The dynamics in cricket coaching is changing. Earlier, coach was just as a backup figure to the captain, while even now the captain remains the figure in the front. But coaches now have a lot more power, a lot more say.
I mean, I remember John Wright, he had mentioned in his book that as a coach it was frustrating at that point because you had no say.
Yes, at that time. Yes.
But at that time, I'm talking about early
2000 to
2000s.
2004.
Now, I think that's changed a lot.
Oh.
And you saw it changed immediately once his successor came. Because, I mean, that entire team, Greg Chappell gave a lot of youngsters chances. And they were all backed by him.
Him, yes.
They were backed by him. It was not necessarily only the captain.
Yep.
A lot of them had his personal backing. A lot of them were his personal projects. Trying to make Irfan Pathan an all-rounder was his personal project. It didn't work. But that was his personal thing.
Even today's reality, it's there. I mean, as I said, Rahul Dravid is an essential part of all meetings. So whoever becomes the coach here will be. Just certain names that we did not discuss, and why did you not pick? I mean, you can pick any coach. Why I didn't go with Ricky Ponting, because I don't think his coaching record really inspires me.
Yeah, I don't rate him as a coach at
Yeah,
all.
what he's done with Delhi, I think that's it. I mean, couple of seasons they had the best team on paper, and yet not to win a title. I think questions need to be asked. Making it the
2019,
final
2020.
doesn't make anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Justin Langer also, his coaching with the Australian teams really not impressed me.
His man management.
Yeah, I'm not.
But although
again.
he took control of an Australian team that was reeling in the aftermath of Sandpaper Gate, and they
And
had
that's where he deserves credit.
okay-ish success. I mean, they retained the Ashes, but were
Oh
beaten
come
by
on, that
India.
was winning against that English team.
Was not a task.
Yeah, you lost to India twice.
Twice.
That
Yeah, that's
a lot.
That
And the
really-
second time around was when not only were your star players back, but India were playing a BC team. Every match you're losing people to COVID or injuries.
Yeah,
Yes.
and under him, the 50 over World Cup, you did not play the final,
Yeah.
which for Australia is a disaster.
Yeah.
I mean, for them, not winning a title is a disaster. Not playing a final is a bigger disaster. So, that happened. Okay, let's take a few questions now. Shubham Garg's question I will take because he intends
Trolling.
on Siddharth. So I'll play the neutral guy in that. He says, Siddharth, can you please write a book on RCB fans should celebrate when they win a game, have different chapters for one-sided game, close one, and dead scenarios. Have different chapters. It's a very good idea.
Two ideas now, yeah.
But the RCB fan book, if you write, that will be a lengthy, thick book.
Yeah.
Because you have so much to say about them.
Boycotted in Karnataka, that will be the thing.
That is going to be.
That is going to be the thing. Yeah, but then, see, RCB fan behavior, if you look at it, 16 years, that's the only thing that's been
What would be the
consistent.
name of that book? The Big Red Book for Immediate Success.
No.
Then?
Off camera, please.
Okay.
Lagavulin speaks from the US saying, how important is coach in international cricket? Gary versus Dravid in World Cup.
See, I think people misunderstand what a coach does when it comes to international cricket. In fact, I'll sum up what Harbhajan Singh said because he put it very nicely. He's saying if you're a coach of an international team, you're not there to teach them hook shot and pull shot.
Yeah.
You're there to be a men manager. That's pretty much the point of it. These players know what they have to do. I mean, and this is true for coaching, even, dare I say, not even at international level, but even at top franchise level. Gautam Gambhir didn't come and make Sunil Narayan a better batter. He just gave him the confidence to go out there and play without fear.
Yeah.
Whatever work Sunil may have put in behind the scenes, and obviously I think he's definitely improved as a batter overall. His approach is the key. Yes. What has changed is not his technical approach. He's not, playing picture perfect cover drives or anything like that. He's approaching it with a fearless approach. He's given permission to not attend team batting meetings.
Yes.
That is what coaching is finding out what works best for your players. So how important is a coach in international cricket? Very, very, because you need to unlock the mind. That is the most powerful thing. All of these players know how to play well. That's why they're representing their countries. But the mentality is what you need to shape.
Danush, no matter who India coach, IPL is Indian important. Being an Indian, I mean, would you not want to look at a foreigner?
I don't think that's what he means.
Yeah, I think.
I think what he's saying is that it doesn't matter who's the India coach, IPL is more important.
Is it?
Or does he mean that the Indian coach is more?
Indian
Okay, assuming he's talking about Indian, does that make a difference?
Not to
having
me.
Indian-
I would in fact prefer a foreign coach every now and then.
Really?
Break the monotony a little bit.
I don't see any difference Indian foreigner. I'm not going to look at it through that prism. The best man for the job should be given.
Most of our ICC wins are come under foreign coaches. Kirsten and Duncan Fletcher. I think Gary was there in 2013. No,
No,
it was Duncan Fletcher.
It was Duncan Fletcher.
Duncan Fletcher. 83, perhaps it was only PR Mansingh.
2007 was
Lalchand
Lalchand Rajputi, but he was the cricket manager.
He was the manager. There was no coach.
Yes.
So there is
Technically was no coach.
John Wright 2002. You shared the ICC Champions Trophy.
Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
Okay, why is
Shubham Garg.
Shubham Garg? Why BCCI is not considering Sangha or Adam Gilchrist? They seem like good man managers. Also with Gilchrist, you have champion mindset. Absolutely, I think Gilchrist could very well be a good option, but that depends
he's
on
not
his
open to
interest also.
traveling much, yeah.
He's not open to traveling much, and I think in case of Sangakkara, I think he has a pretty settled role with Rajasthan Royals, and he's probably enjoying that also. So, yeah, it could be the case.
Yeah. Gurupal, if a coach has strict nature towards senior players, will they support him or they will try to remove him? Reference 2017.
No, why we discussed that, Gurupal, that's the thing, and that is why there is a little bit of a worry, obviously, that sometimes having a strict disciplinarian may not be the best option.
The only difference is that in 2017 there was a lot of player power because the BCCI was run by a group of administrators, so they could really do that. In today's day and age, I think it's the BCCI that takes the call. May not be very easy. Just because you're uncomfortable with a coach doesn't mean that you can have him removed. Having said that, the BCCI is also very sensitive towards the player requirement because at the end of the day, they need to be in a great shape of mind to be performing at the best. So you try and do whatever is going to keep them in that best shape, mentally, physically, everything. So yeah, it works both ways.
Shubham Garg, international and domestic requirements are very different. At domestic level, you need to install discipline, whereas international, you need man and strategic management.
No, so I get your point, but it's not like at domestic level you instill discipline and that's the only thing you do. There are also tactics and strategies come into play,
Yeah.
You don't win a domestic trophy just on vibes.
Yeah, but there is a difference.
Of course there is a difference. The intensity will not be the same.
Yeah, but again, it's a leap of faith. Not to say that a domestic coach cannot be successful at an international level or vice versa, but it's a leap of faith. If you trust the guy, give him that chance, see what he does.
Yep.
Simple as that.
You can take Mayank Madan.
Mayank Madan says, my first ever cricket memory was DK's catch of Graham Smith in the T20 World Cup 2007. Okay, clearly Mayank is a lot younger than I thought he was. but fair enough. Says, what was yours first cricket memory? That's an interesting one. And then he's addressing something to you, Siddharth, which I'll not take.
Yeah, stop behaving like Raidu or a troll, please. But where have I behaved like the names mentioned are a troll?
Anyway, he's giving Gigi as a coach a thumbs up. We'll quickly go. There's a video coming up on the top 5 moments of Dinesh Karthik's career. That will be up on Sports Today very shortly. But yeah,
well, the first memory in his very first game, that stumping of Michael Vaughan
Yeah,
at Lord's.
actually, that 3-match series between India and England,
which they lost 2-1. But yeah.
First memory is very tough to jog, honestly. Well, I'll come back to this.
First memory, it's tough to go, but the one that I remember, I mean, one of the initial memories is of him winning the man of the match in the first ever T20I that India played. I was there in Joburg. I covered that game live, and I remember him winning that trophy. I have a few off the field memories, not a lot that I can share, but
I think my first ever memory of DK, obviously it's
Not DK,
that,
I think first ever cricket memories, right?
no, DK.
No.
Yeah, it's DK.
My first ever cricket memory was DK's catch
Okay.
of transfer.
Ah.
So not first
No,
ever.
but I think he's talking about DK.
No.
First
Yeah,
ever
even
cricket
I-
memory.
That's what I'm saying, he's young. So you'd
boy.
have been maybe 7 years old at that
that was
point.
way
right?
back in 1999.
First ever memory of which I can recall is the hat trick by Chetan Sharma in the 1987 World
Nagpur.
Cup.
Nagpur.
Nagpur.
Yeah. All three bowled.
That I mean, I would have seen other games around that time, but because young, the one thing that stays is a big moment, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a big moment. That 87 hat trick, I remember that.
Even a
Well-
big moment for me also. 1999 World Cup was around, I think, okay, I'm revealing my age here, but I was 6 or 7 years old, and India Zimbabwe World Cup.
Oh, Leicester.
Acha, yeah.
Leicester. 3 runs. Olonga.
Henry Olonga.
Olonga.
I remember watching that.
Sachin did not play that
Yeah.
game.
He had gone back for
I was
father's
in
father.
college, and I remember watching that game in a cafe with a big group of friends. We all sat together having our burgers and watching that game. I remember.
Zimbabwe had 2 teams, India and South Africa. Because for me then in that case, 1992, India versus Australia Gaba. Dean Jones, I mean he's facing up to
What a
Javagal
game that
Srinath.
was,
Yeah,
close one.
Javagal Srinath bowls a length delivery outside of Dean Jones without a helmet, with that unconventional kind of a side-on stance. Hits a 6 that is easily 100 meters. The sound that it made.
Yeah.
I think
Magnificent.
I first one is a little hard to track, but if I'm talking first significant one that really stands out, one that kind of made me start watching the sport, 2003 NatWest Trophy final.
2.
Yeah, 2, sorry.
Two.
Yes, 2.
Yeah.
India, England, that
Loves.
325, 326. KF Yuvraj, that was a very significant memory because again, at that point, you were used to seeing the Saurabhs and the Sehwags and the Sachins, but at that point, you had these 2 young kids come out, play very fearless cricket. I mean, don't forget, 320 at that point in time was not an insignificant chase. And the fact is that you were 5 wickets down. You had these 2 young kids play
146 for
very fearless cricket. That was a great memory.
And 4 years back, and there's an interesting backdrop. They had lost 9 finals on the trot heading into the matches.
Yeah.
And 4 years back, they chased 316 versus Pakistan. Dhaka.
Okay.
That was man.
Yeah.
Let's run through.
Ashish Dar. Good coach who manages well the ego of senior players. Kumble fiasco shouldn't be repeated. Neither Ravi, who made players insecure, nor Rahul, who couldn't stand in front of seniors. No Aussie as a coach. So this is सबसे कोई भी नहीं.
What is he saying? Rahul couldn't stand in front of seniors.
Apparently saying that he just let the seniors do whatever they wanted.
How sure are you of that, Ashish?
That's speculation / conjecture and a half.
Yeah.
VK and GG click together.
Says
That's
Mayank
Virat
Madhan.
Kohli and Gautam Gambhir. That would be some treat for us.
They're already clicking together.
No, I mean, they have clicked together in the international careers when
Yeah.
Gambhir was a season pro.
2009 till 2012.
Are final? They had a partnership.
Yeah.
2011.
Yeah. 97 and 34 respectively.
That Sri Lanka ODI also.
Oh,
Kohli
yes.
first
In
century.
Kolkata.
Yeah.
Rajan Singh Thind is like saying people might criticize Greg Chappell, but in 2006 ODI series, he preferred RP over Agarkar to play and made sure Irfan, Sreesanth, RP played the whole series. And that trio was part of the World Cup 2007 T20.
No, see, I covered a lot of cricket when Greg was there. I'm still in touch with him. I do drop him an email once in a while. There are certain things he did was ahead of its time, for sure. I think it was, just the wrong timing. People weren't ready to accept a few things that he thought of. Which later you realize, and by the way, MS Dhoni, once Greg had gone, kind of did a few things that Greg Chappell had been advocating at the time. MS Dhoni ended up doing. Also, it was a clash of culture, right? Greg Chappell came from Australia where they didn't mind, taking the tough calls. Here we come from a more star worshipping culture, found it tough. So it was a clash of cultures. Again, he was a great player, by the way. Greg Chappell, those of you who don't know, will go down in history as Australia's top 5 cricketers. If you're picking, Greg Chappell's going to be one of them, and I'm counting Don Bradman in that, and a Ricky Ponting in that, a Shane Warne in that. I think Chappell would make it too. That's how great he was as a player. But I think slightly misunderstood. May have made a few mistakes too. I'm not saying that he was 100% right. This is the timing of the entire thing, just when it happened.
Vasant C says that CSK fans were triggered because of Virat Kohli's silent celebration and using some cuss words towards CSK fans in the CSK RCB match. So if you give it, you have to take it.
No, if that's the case, then it's true. If it did, because I did not see it, if that indeed happened as Vasant is saying, then if the fans are aggrieved, then it's fine. But if they're just celebrating amongst themselves and you're upset that they beat you, that's a bit strange. That's what their job is, right? But yeah, if he was being nasty, which I mentioned at that time, if he was being nasty towards the crowd, or but again, in terms of his actions or words, no, if you're cussing, then fans are upset. I can understand, right?
Virat always does that.
But we don't know whether it's
weird. That's what I mean. Whether was those celebrations to the CSK fans, did really happen? We are so focused on what was happening in the match. The celebrations were intense, but who it was directed to, we don't know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was more just pumped. I don't think he was, giving the big one to, let's say, CSK fans. They may have taken it that way.
But if they felt like that, and if he did do it, then they have all the right to be aggrieved.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, Mr. Shekhar.
Says belated congrats, dear Shane. Thank you, Mr. Shekhar. You were destined to win qualifier 1. After all, you were playing on our turf. We always serve you miracles in Ahmedabad, be it directly or indirectly. Rinku's 5-6 is another example. Point well taken.
Yep. And one more miracle is coming up. Because
hopefully
all
in Chennai.
Where it all began.
Shaurya Nanda asks, can someone please have a word with Virat Kohli and ask him to mellow down his outrageous celebrations for heaven's sake? Feels like a school kid playing gully cricket. It's jarring to the eye.
I think if we did that, took that away from him, I think you'd be stripping away a lot of what makes Virat Kohli Virat Kohli.
You'd be stopping cinema.
Yeah, but to be honest, I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of his over-the-top celebration, because sometimes I feel it is
over the top.
It crosses the line.
Yeah, it happens way too often. Like, okay, one big wicket on there, but it happens for every. But maybe again, who are we to judge if that is what fires him? And clearly it does. If that is what keeps him motivated, if that is what gets the best out of him, then so be it. But if you're asking me as a viewer, no, I'm not a big fan. I don't enjoy watching it every time. Once in a while, it's good with a massive wicket or a massive turning point. It's fine. For everything.
Although it did backfire, 23 World Cup final.
I think it's more of a Delhi thing, I would say, because I have seen the same thing in myself when I have played cricket.
No, but so many Delhi guys, Gautam Gambhir, barely you saw him, you would get angry, but celebrations, where did you see him celebrate?
He was very different in that regard. He was different.
Ashish Nehra, where did you see him celebrate? Delhi boy. Virender Sehwag, where did you see him celebrate? All Delhi boys I'm talking about.
Harshit Rana, where did we ever see him celebrate?
So normal. Viru was.
Viru.
But then Viru was lazy elegance.
Ashish Nehra.
Ashish Nehra was the most.
He was spread eagle. Ashish Nehra.
Whatever. Done.
Okay.
Mirage Rules from Canada is saying, Greg Chappell, that man deserved a young team and match winners. I still believe that 2007 T20 World Cup, some of the credit should go to Guru Greg.
Yeah, he's right.
Absolutely.
Agreed, Merar. Yeah. He bore the brunt of India's poor performance at the 50-over World Cup, and he was sacked. But as you say, immediately, it's much like governments, right? People start saying, we came to power in such and such year and see what we've done. But whatever you do the first 4-5 years is what was started before. For every similar for coaches, captains, whatever.
Yep.
Certain things just carry on. Yeah.
Soumya Dasgupta says, out of context question, why is the impact player rule there in the Syed Mushtaq Ali Trophy? It's a BCCI tournament and not a franchise tournament. ICC tournaments never have impact player rule. Soumya, to answer your question, it was first put in the SMAC to be tested out for the IPL. That's why it's still there.
By the way, Ashwin's got an interesting point. He said that all these top scores that are happening is not because of the impact player, it's because of the skill level of the batters that's really improved.
Yeah, he's changed his tone a little bit.
I wouldn't
SOS?
necessarily
No,
agree with-
but that SOS, did he mention impact player? No, he said make it even.
Even.
Yeah,
Pitches.
so I guess pitches and the boundary lines
Impact
and
rule
this,
comes as a part of it, let's be fair.
he didn't mention that, to be
He
fair.
may not have mentioned it, but it counts.
Virat was batting well in the power play himself, admitted, because I knew that there would be an impact sub at number 8.
Does that mean he won't be batting well for India?
No, I doubt it. I really doubt it, because look, as I say, for India the roles are different. He did the same thing in 2023, but then you saw how different he was with the Indian team.
Yeah.
Good IPLs does not guarantee you
Success.
great India success.
Okay.
Mirage rules.
Oh, that's a very trolly comment.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Okay.
He says its combined 10 titles will not be playing. A team or combined 10 title winning teams will not be playing the finals this time. CSK, MI, and RCB.
Mayank Madan, please answer Mirage rules, please. And you say that I'm a troll.
Good one.
I know.
Okay. Ashish Dhar says, Nikhil, loved your shows in NDTV along with Sonali and Akshay. Yeah, thank you so much, Ashish. That also tells us how old you are, and that was a great time. It to me feels like a different lifetime altogether. It was so long back, but I miss all my colleagues and miss the bunch of experts we had in Navjot Sidhu and Ajay Jadeja, who made those shows incredible. Dean Jones, absolutely. Miss those times, but lovely time.
Sarandeep Singh also?
No, not in our shows. No.
Okay. In Hindi, I think probably.
Yeah, but he came much later. Like
Yeah, he came later.
a lot of the people that he's mentioning had left by then.
Okay.
Sunny Ji always.
Ajay Jadeja, Dean Jones, and Navjot Singh. Those were.
Sunny Ji also was there. No?
Sunny Ji came later.
Later.
Yeah,
Okay.
but was also there. Yes.
Yes. 6:30.
Okay. Bye.
Okay.
Want to take one or two?
No.
Want to? I'm just going to read out comments. Sarat Chandra says, Nikhil sir, tell me honestly, RCB versus South Africa versus Spurs, who wins the title first? Oh, good question.
It's a 3-way draw.
Good question. Good question. Okay. Oh, Mr. Mutton Birani is back.
Yeah.
He says, Tom Moody as head coach looks a good cricketing mind. Yeah, he's a sharp cricketing mind, yes. But what happened under him at SRH recently? They finished.
Wasn't that more of Baylis's doing?
But
Less of
no,
Tom
was also
Moody.
part of it.
Tom Moody himself was not.
Then when to give credit? You're giving mentor Gambhir the credit for KKR, but mentor of SRH has not got the credit. Coach will be. What do you pick and choose?
Because
whatever you
it's
have to.
kind of, see, under Moody they won the IPL title, but then 5 years later it came full circle and they had to drop a David Warner from the
I'll put part of that at least down to the ownership. It's not
Yeah.
just Moody, but yeah, I don't think he covered himself in that much glory either.
But see, with Moody, the thing is, I don't think it'll happen because twice before he's thrown his hat into the ring, he's come for the interviews, done his presentation, did not get picked. So third time is the charm. I don't know,
No,
but
I don't
looks
Maybe he doesn't want the third time to be a charm. He's happy doing whatever he's doing.
maybe.
He's not in any IPL capacity at this
No,
point.
no,
He's
no.
He's
He's
an
doing
analyst,
commentary.
I think,
He's doing
yeah.
commentary.
Yeah, it's doing comment. Okay, on that note, thank you very much. Anything you want to say under
Till
the
tomorrow.
Anything? Personal, family issues, personal issues, good things, some great news you want to share? Anything?
I respect Sidvi's opinions.
Breaking news. Finally, after a decade, you turned around.
Take care. Bye bye.
Nandri, vanakkam.
Good
See you
night,
tomorrow,
Shobha.
6:50 p.m.
Yes.
Qualifier 2.
Sunrisers
Quickly pick a winner for tomorrow. No explanation because that we'll do tomorrow.
Sunrisers Hyderabad.
RR.
RR.
Rajasthan Royals.
RR. 3 RR, 1 SRH. Okay.
So
See you tomorrow for a detailed
So
discussion.
it's RR, not RRR.
Could be har. So,
Bye.